everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way that you can teach any child the alphabet. I've used this method on my children and we've had some great results with it. What sound does it make?
Gold.
That's right, that's the sound that a D makes. What sound does H make? And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll show you different games that you can play with your child to make this even more simple and enjoyable. Let's get started. When my first son started talking, I was fascinated by how quickly he was learning about the world around him. He was very curious, and I particularly noticed that he loved to learn through play. And it was at this time that I was intrigued, and I decided to try an experiment to see if I could get him to learn how to read in a completely play-based way. And of course, this starts with the alphabet. So the first important step is to choose the right alphabet book. Often parents will buy their children My First ABC's books. But the trouble with these books is that they often present uppercase letters. And although eventually the child does need to learn the uppercase letters, it's actually easier for the child if they first start off with the lowercase alphabet, because those are the letters that they'll need to be familiar with once they start to read. Another problem with these books is that they often are not phonetic. They don't present a phonetic alphabet. I is a perfect example where it often stands for ice cream, when really the phonetic sound for I is it. A phonetic alphabet is an alphabet that has the basic letter sounds that a child needs in order to start decoding words phonetically. So that'll include the short vowel sounds and certain consonants. I'll provide a link down below which presents all the alphabet phonetic sounds. And lastly, parents may make the mistake of reading the alphabet books the wrong way. I know I was doing this at first myself. So for example, I would read this saying the letter name. I would say A is for armadillo. But if the child is going to be an early reader, they'll need to know the letter sound more importantly than the letter name. So it's best to read it as A is for armadillo, B is for boat. So when you're reading an alphabet book to a child, rather than overwhelming them with 4 different pieces of information, like an uppercase letter, lowercase letter, the letter name, and the letter sound, you can simplify that by going straight to a lowercase letter and the letter sound. I've searched high and low for a book that fits this criteria. I found some alphabet books that were only lowercase letters, but then they wouldn't have a phonetic alphabet. And if I found books that did have a phonetic alphabet, then I found the pages were too thin and the images weren't beautiful. So that was when I decided to create my own alphabet book. In my book, you'll notice that I have a large lowercase letter, as well as words that only begin with phonetic alphabet sounds. I follow the Montessori-inspired approach, which uses realistic and beautiful images, and they're only images of animals. Something to make note of is that there are no words in the English language that begin with the phonetic sound x, so it has to be at the end or in the middle of a word. And at the back of my book, I have the alphabet written out, and you can use this to either go over the letter sounds again, or if you want, you can start singing them the alphabet song. So the way that I encourage you to read this to your child is to say I, iguana, j, jellyfish, to really emphasize that letter as well as its letter sound. I'll have a link down below where you can print out this book for free for yourself. I recommend printing it on cardstock and laminating it, and then binding it together with binder rings. Next, you'll want to start to focus more on the individual letter sounds. And a great tool for that are these magnetic jumbo letters. They're all lowercase from Learning Resources. I'll put a link for it down below. I started introducing these letter sounds in clusters based on a Montessori-inspired approach. The first cluster is M, C, A, T. I've created these magnetic mats for the children to help reinforce these lessons. So my son will take a letter, and as he picks it up, I'll repeat the letter sound to him, and I'll go t, t, and he'll put it down. And then sometimes he'll repeat after me, sometimes he won't, and I'll encourage him to tell me what sound the letter makes. And he really enjoys matching them up, and this helps with distinguishing the letters from each other, and being able to tell the differences, and also to hear the letter sounds and to even repeat them. So I've created a free printable, the link is down below, for all of the other letter clusters, and you'll notice that there's repeats of the letters on these pages, and that's because it matches how many letters are available in this set. Now, as your child starts to learn more of their letter sounds, you can start introducing mats with more letters on them. I can put a link down below for this free printable, and you can easily find the letters for it on Amazon as well. So a game that I like to play with my son to help reinforce his letter sounds is we would have 2 bowls with some of the magnetic letters that we're trying to learn. And I would have him pick up the letter. I would try to have him state which sound it makes, or I would help repeat it for him, and he would simply put it in the other bowl. Another great way to have a child practice their alphabet and their alphabet sounds is to use a lowercase alphabet puzzle. I actually got this one from Dollar Tree, and they come and go from the store throughout the years, but you can also order wooden ones from Amazon. I find that my children are very attracted to these puzzles, and it's also a great way for them to practice their letter sounds as they're putting the letters back in. Another fun way to have your child practice their letter sounds is to use a drawing board. Over here I have a boogie board, but a dry erase board or a little chalkboard would work just as fine. So for example, I'll draw a letter. For example, a T, I'll have them say T. And then next I'll draw a sun or a cat, and they can't even tell that they're learning because they're so engaged and interested in what I'll draw next. In conclusion, you can teach any child the alphabet by reading them a lowercase phonetic alphabet book. You can use jumbo lowercase letters to help introduce the individual letter sound. You can create transfer activities with these letters or matching activities with them. And lastly, you can turn this into a game by using a drawing board or by using alphabet puzzles. After all of that, I hope that I've simplified the process of helping you teach your little one the alphabet. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, because in my next video, I will talk about how you can start teaching your child phonemic awareness, which is the next step they need in order to help further their reading skills. I'll see you in the next one.